Hey guys, welcome back. This is Mike. So I want to go over a video real quick of a lot of the parts that were put on. Some you'll see, some you won't see, but I'm going to point them out to you. So anyway, this is the 2008 Suzuki Boulevard or M109. It originally, when I bought it, had the Cobra sweat pipes, as you've seen in an earlier video. And I took those off over the weekend and put these new performance Freedom Performance pipes on, or Performance Freedom. And they are a lot louder. I do like them, especially in the higher gear, at a cruising RPM where just get a little bit more thump or whatnot. I did put the Custom World CW bars on, and they're on both sides. Now initially, I was told that you could not use any bars, Suzuki or Cobra, not Cobra, but Custom World, with the intake spikes. And that did hold true initially, because what would happen is, right here, this part of the spike would basically be right here, right up in the middle of the damn bar. And so it was just no good. But let me show you what I did. I was going to just make a custom bracket in order to lower this and still be able to attach this bar here from the engine block to the back of the intake to keep it stable. But what I ended up doing, get this to focus here, and if you can see, hopefully you can see this, but right here, this engine bracket where the original intake was, it was more pointed straight up, 12 o'clock position. And what I decided to do was counterclockwise rotate it. It's probably in, the 10 o'clock position right now. Just rotate it at one turn. So, this little tab right here that would normally goes on a fin is now in between, the top fin right there and the next one. And what that allowed me to do was kind of not only rotate this down a little bit, but lower it just probably ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch also. I was still able to get it very snug with enough material up in here to hold it. The other thing was, let me get out of the light here, this bar here normally goes from here to here, okay, but it wasn't going to fit. It was just the angle wasn't going to be any good. It was just nowhere near being aligned. So what I did was I tried down here and seen that I could get pretty close. It wasn't going to be perfect, but I could get it pretty close. So what I did is I put it in here and snugged it so that I could still spin it just a little bit, but it wasn't real wiggly. And then I took a flat blade screwdriver and stuck in, if you've got one of these, you'll know what I'm talking about, but the eyelet on the end of this rod. Okay, I put a Phillips screwdriver through there. It's probably a 10-inch handle, 10-inch screwdriver with handle, and I was able to I bent it this way a little bit to match the angle that I was going to go through here, and I had to bend it down just a little bit also in order to get that angle, because again, you can see how these are kind of, it's not straight up vertical, it's kind of at an angle or whatnot. So I did that, and that lined up perfectly. So it worked out really, really well. It kept me from having to do what a lot of guys, or pretty much all the guys that I've seen have done, which is keep the original intake and either cut, a custom piece of plexiglass and paint it on the backside, or do a piece of aluminum or stainless or diamond plate or whatever and mount that to the original intake, and then drill out for this and then mount this to that flat plate. That works. It's great. I'm not knocking it. I didn't want it. I do like the much cleaner setup where I don't have a big salad bowl here or that big flat metal plate. So that worked out great for me, and as you can see, it's not going nowhere. And again, it cleared my bars, which was awesome, which was really cool. So got those put on, and got the, like I said, the performance pipes. Really like those. The other thing that you can't see is a G-Man shift bushing that I put on, which works really well. I like the setup. I like the idea of it, if nothing else, from a maintenance standpoint, that you don't have to grease it, or grease it, I should say. Don't know what you'll see, if anything. But get this to focus. This is it right here. And it was what was it, about 40 bucks, I think. And so from the design, from the original to this one, you know, I do see where I like it a lot easier. It does shift in a second a lot easier. And I still have my primary cover off. I got to put it back on. I just finished this up last night, and I was out testing it a moment ago. I didn't want to go through all the assembly process, but and I got some pictures. But I put the Factory Pro Evo Star Shifter in here last night also, and I got some pictures of that. And basically, take the primary cover off, 10mm bolt here, pull this off. There's 5 8mm like here, all the way around this cover. Take that off, and what is it? Then there's a, I think a 5mm on the Star Shifter itself, and another 10mm on the detent arm. And so that was real. The instructions were good up until the point where it said remove your Star Shifter, and it didn't say how. And I'm sitting here just, you know, pulling on the damn thing. I'm thinking, do I need a gear puller or what? Because it's just not moving. And then I finally figured out that the bolt in the middle of the Star Shifter, because it was full of oil, you know, you couldn't really tell, but it was a 5mm, you know, socket or hex head. And so, you know, I got tools and unscrewed that, had Loctite on it, so I had to get a little bit of twist, pulled it out, and then put it all back together. And I just went through the gears real quick just to make sure everything shifted as it would. And so we're good on that. But going from first to second is unbelievable, because what will happen is you'll end up going right through neutral, because it's just so easy to do. So you really have to relearn how much pressure to put on your pedal, on your shifter pedal, so that you don't go from first to second or second to first and just blow right through neutral. So not that big of a deal. My Jigsaw was the same way. You just, you know, learn how to do the right amount of pressure. But of course, you know, as you can see here, my other intake and the Custom World bars. So really cool. Glad to get all this part done. Next thing, since we got the exhaust and the intake, is to go for custom tuning. That's going to be done here locally, and it's going to be on the Power Commander 5 that I have on this. So we should be able to dial in really easily. I started to go with Auto Tune or Cobra, but I changed my mind. We're just going to go straight custom tune and be done with it on the dyno, and go from there. So yeah, cool. Next thing we're going to do is, after the custom tuning, is going to be paint. And while it's going to be a part for paint, we're going to start doing some of the lighting on the motor and the wheels. You know, I build my own kits for the wheels, so it's going to be a lot more awesome than, you know, some of the other stuff you see out on the market where you have to mount shit to your rotor and, you know, all that ugliness, which is cool at night, but in the day it's just horrid. You know, so it's just not me. I mean, it's for a lot of people, and a lot of people have it, and it's great, it works. It's just not for me. So anyway, for the pull the bike back in the driveway, I got to put that primary cover back on, and then we're gonna wash it because it's been in the shop and I didn't have my cover on it, and I got dust and shit on it. For those wondering, I'm just gonna take like a Walmart bag or something and just cover this, and then, you know, I don't hose my bike down, I mist it, and then I do my rag with, you know, soap and water, depending on how dirty it is, and then I'll go through all the washing process and then, you know, mist it again to get the soap off. You know, one of the things while I got real quick, the tack, I started to relocate under here, but I'm not going to do that. The Dakota digital gauges, I'm just going to get those and put them down here and do away with this completely. I've got a 55 watt HID kit that I'm going to be putting in here for low beam, and for high beam I've got some other lights that are coming in, which are going to mount right here. which are LED, which are going to be forward driving lights. So that's going to be awesome. The front signals, you know, I've never liked stalks. I have never liked stalks. They just are ugly in my opinion. So I hadn't decided yet, but we'll end up doing something different with those. I do have a rear brake flasher for the back. You see what I'm talking about where it's dirty. Look at that. But anyway, just plans, ideas, more money to blow. You know how it goes. But anyway, see you guys next time. Oh, if you're interested in a sound clip, I'm not going to do it now because I've got another video. But definitely check out the video before this one where I went through the process of taking off the Cobra sweat pipes and going through the installation process of these. And so I did sound clips with the kind of like versus each other, right? So it was the Cobra sweats versus, you know, the Performance Freedom Performance, I forget. So you can kind of hear both and get an idea of which you might like. And again, like I said in the video, keep in mind that everybody's cameras are different, their microphones are different and whatnot, so just keep in mind of that. But that's how it sounds on my setup. So anyway, thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video.